Welcome again to Terry TV. And, one of the cool things for me in being able to host this show is, well, of course, bringing value to you, the audience member. And really the fun for me is I get to bring on the coolest people on the planet, people that I've known, that I enjoy, that I know create massive value for all kinds of business owners. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about this woman before I bring her on. Many moons ago, like another lifetime ago, I actually got my start doing interviews and in radio, the co-hosting a show with her. And I really decided from that point that I loved interviewing people. I loved podcasts. I loved radio. And, who knew it would now grow to TV? So I'm going to say I take my hat off, and you'll get that in just a moment. I take my hat off. Her name is Raven Blair Glover, and we just call her Raven, okay? She is the talk show maven. So get that down with me. Raven, the talk show maven. That's our gal. She literally is, in my book, the queen of interview marketing and conversion. She not only knows how to really have great, powerful interviews, but how that really can work in your business. She is a celebrity interviewer. I got my start interviewing celebrities with her. She is a three-time, not one, not two, three-time award-winning talk show host. And get ready for this one. She is the recipient of the 2016 Lifetime Achievement Award that is signed by Barack Obama. There it is! Yay! Oh, I got goosebumps. I'm so excited. So let me just tell you a little bit about her. In my view, there is nobody who can teach business owners and anyone who wants to do any form of broadcasting a way to actually use broadcasting to market and grow your business, because interviews give you credibility. And when you tie your name with somebody that you've interviewed, you kind of up yourself. You get more influence. If I've interviewed Jack Canfield or Mark Victor Hansen or Dr. Joe Vitale, all of those people bring up my credibility. So you not only increase your credibility, you're going to do something else. You're going to get higher paying clients. And you know what you're going to become? I love this. Raven says this. You're going to become the Oprah in your niche. Yeah. All right, Raven, I'm so excited to have you. Thanks for joining me.
Oh, my goodness. I'm on Terry TV. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Thank you for accepting me and having me here. I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh. Well, you are my shero. You truly are. I didn't know a thing about radio or TV or interviews. First of all, I did not know how much fun I was going to have. Once I got started, it was like, you can't shut me up. And then the second thing is, I didn't know that not only would I be meeting some of the coolest people on the planet, literally, I would be changing my business. So how did you get started? Let's go back to you.
Well, thank you for saying that, Terry. And wow, I remember the first interview I did with you, and you, superstar that you are, I just felt like, oh my God, I got a dream come true interview. But we'll get into that, I know, as we be going. But I love to share my story, as you know, because it really is something I know a lot of people can resonate with. My story started in this hospital right here. I'm going to pull it up right there in the ICU unit of Methodist Hospital. My mother, Emily Blair, she had gone into emergency, and she was there. They thought she was going to be there for a few days and, have her surgery, but she ended up being there in the ICU unit of this hospital for 3 whole weeks. And if you look to the right there, right around to, I would say right to the right near the bottom, in the back was a little chapel. I spent many hours in that chapel. And I tell you, one of the things, of course, I prayed for was Mother to get through this. But also, Terry, I had to, realize that Mother was going to probably make it. At least that's what my gut was telling me. But at the same time, what condition was she going to be in? And she was going to really need some help because she had Medicare and a Medicaid and not Medicare. And I found out real quick basically you needed both if you didn't have money. And so I knew that in order to help mom, I was going to have to step up, show up, and grow up. And I heard Alex Mendoza, and you know Alex, say that the quickest way to become an expert is to interview other experts, become the Oprah in your niche, and go out there and interview people on how they did it, and get their lessons and strategies. And so that's what I did. I began it about 6 weeks later. I did my first show from the hospital, the second show from the kitchen table, and I've been doing it ever since. That was 2006. And luckily, I've been blessed to interview you and Lisa Sasevich, Montel Williams, Ernie Hudson, Fran Drescher, Alex, Russell Simmons, Les Brown. Just had another interview with him a couple weeks ago. Sherry Shepard, Sinbad, all these people, Chili, what's her name? Rosa. I can't think of her name.
Yes.
Yeah, Jack Canfield, Lindsay Wagner, Lisa Nichols. I went from the hospital to being on CNN, and I literally have taught myself with great mentors like Alex and you and some other great mentors that I have. I've taught myself how to talk my way to cash by interview marketing, interviewing experts, having them interview me, and interviewing my clients. That's our 3-tier interview process we teach, called the Trinity Triple Threat interview process. And I've gone from the ICU to now, being a correspondent on the red carpet. And it all starts from interviewing.
I love it. I just love it. And what I love about it is we get to be ourselves when we interview people. We're just who we are. We show up the way we are, and we use our curiosity factor to learn about people. And one of the things that I found in the very beginning was, I remember you suggested some people for the show we were doing together, and you said,
"Yeah,
go reach out to them." And I thought, oh my gosh, these are big people. And I listened to you, right? And we got a bunch of yeses. And I was so struck with the fact that you can get a celebrity to be very excited about being on the show and about being interviewed, even if you're a no-name. So
yes.
Why is this whole interviewing of top experts and influencers, why is it really important to our audience members that have various levels of businesses from startup to super success?
Oh, I love that question. Great question. Here's what I want your audience, all of you that are tuning in, and by the way, thank you for watching Terry TV and me. What you need to know is it will take you from, as they used to say in the old days, zero to being the hero, because you're borrowing success of the Terry Levines, of the Jack Canfields, of the Lisa Sasevich. You fill in the blank of who your sheroes and heroes is, because I'm sure you agree, Terry, we all have different sheroes and heroes, okay? And so you're borrowing the success of them. You're getting into their Rolodex, into their list, into their social media presence. And you're not having to do it all alone. Aren't you guys really tired of doing everything you're alone? I'm telling you, interview marketing is what I call it. And just really tapping into those top experts, celebrities, and influencers. And just to clarify, an expert doesn't have to be a celebrity status, but that's what you're reaching for. I call it interviewing up. Start with your neighbors. When I started at the hospital, and I ran around the hospital and said, I'm going to start a show. It's going to be called Women Power, and it's going to empower women to go for their dreams no matter what. And I just began to ask people, who do you know that has a story that would love to come share it to empower and inspire the baby boomer women? And that's how I got my first one. And then every time, and here's my secret sauce, I finished the interview, I would thank them, I would compliment them, and I would say, who else do you know that's just like you that would love to come on and share their story? And begin to build.
I gotta say, that is what I call a writer downer. Who else do you know? And I have a great story for you. Appreciate it, Raven. The other day I had someone on my radio show, and he happened to mention that he also has a radio show during the interview. And he said, oh, last week when I was interviewing Kevin Harrington, and 2 weeks ago when I was interviewing David John, I said, So we finished the interview, and I said, this has been great. I loved interviewing. You're awesome. You're amazing. I learned so much. Can I ask you one question? And he said, sure. What's that? Because we already have a relationship going. And I said, who else do you know that might fit my radio show? And instantaneously, like within 20 minutes, I got these emails and these Skypes where he was actually introducing me to the
Yes.
celebrity expert. So that's such a great question. Thank you for asking it.
Yeah, and and by now being in social media, you have the messages, what's Facebook Messenger and everything, your emails. People don't mind introducing you if you did a great job. So I think we do need to talk about that. You have to wow your audience, but let me tell you, you better really wow your guests. See, I did something different starting out, and I still maintain the same strategy that works for me. Although I built my show around my audience, the baby boomer women, I quickly recognized that there were so many of us out there. I was going to have to do something really, really major to make myself stand out. And so what I did was I decided that I was going after the big ones. I was going after those people that other people dare not, interview. I was seeing the same people being interviewed all the time. And so I said, I'm going to go out and I'm going to reach out to Sherry Shepherd. I'm going to reach out to Montel Williams. I'm going to really stretch myself. And I call it interviewing up. And when I did that, that's when people began to recognize who I was. So I said that because I want your listeners to know and your viewers to know that you have to stretch yourself, and don't worry about them knowing you, because none of them, I can tell you, none of them knew me. They never heard of me at all. But what they went on and what made them decide to say yes is something that we teach in our icon interview formula. Is I knew what was important to them. And so before you reach out, do your homework, investigate. And I would do things like I would search beyond the homepage, their website. And, at that time, social media wasn't a big deal. But this time, you'll look at social media. But I invite you to stretch yourself and Google, try to find out who their family members are. Find out if there's someone that's challenging, going through some kind of health challenge, and they talk about it and they've passionate about it. They got an organization or a cause. Find out what's close to their heart. Okay. Get on their newsletter list and find out, where are they going? Did they go on a vacation? When they talk about their wife, Linda, and then when you reach out to them, you can say, hey, did you and Linda have a great time in Alaska? I seen in a newsletter. Let them know and say things like, when I invested in your audio series or your book, one on page 7, you said, these are the things you have to say to get their connection.
These are phenomenal tips, like great tips. I can remember 2 incidents that I'll share that I think might add to what you're saying and piggyback. One is when I first started in coaching and consulting, I read The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. It's a book I highly endorse and recommend. And I thought, I wonder if Michael Gerber would give me like free copies of the book to give my clients. And people said, well, why would he do that? And I said, because I'm going to have influence over a lot of business consultants. And so I called and nothing happened. And then the next day I said, I'm going to leave a really different message. And this time I'm going to talk about something specific in the book that I'm using and implementing in my business. And I referred to a page. I always remember that. I got a call back pretty quickly from someone in his office saying, how can we help you? And I thought, wow, that was magical. And then my second one that piggybacks is huge fan of Jerry and Esther Hicks. Right, huge fan. And back in the day when there were cassettes, I'm dating myself, I was going to be speaking at a Mind, Body, Spirit Expo, and I wanted to give away some of the Abraham cassettes. And I called up, and I actually got Jerry on the phone, and I said, hey, Jerry, let me just share a couple of the things that resonate with me. And I literally just gave back some Abraham quotes. And he went, I can tell I have a true fan on the phone. What can I do for you? And I made my request. And I was looking for like 50. He sent me 1,000.
Wow.
1,000.
That's a win.
It's a huge win, right? And I think the message is don't be afraid to go after celebrities. Don't be afraid to ask. And Raven really gave you great advice about doing your homework. Now, I know sometimes people get excited about this. Or this is a cool concept, but they might not understand how do I even start interviewing. So maybe could you break it down and give them some simple get started kind
Oh,
of
yeah,
thing?
absolutely. Okay, first thing you want to do is you have to pick a niche. And I recommend you pick something that's close to your heart so it can be easy breezy for you. Now, get this, you don't have to know nothing about the niche. You don't have to be a great teacher. You just got to be good at asking the questions and zipping it. Ask the next question, zip it. Ask the next question, zip it. Just like Terry is doing with me. And speak from the heart, the gut, and the soul. I used to start off with, just being, having all these questions and stuff, but just have an informative, educational conversation with them. Okay. What I want to say was a conversation, infosation.
I love that.
You just want to pull out the good juice and then zip it. So to get started, pick a niche and then go find experts around that niche. But before you can even begin to do that, guess what you have to do? You have to create a powerful platform. And nowadays, it's so much easier than when Terry and I started. Okay, so much easier. You got your phone, Facebook Live. You got your conference call lines. And I actually tell people to start with audio and move into video, because that's a whole different game, ball game. You got to engage a lot more on social media if you're on Facebook Live, and that can completely throw you off if you're not prepared. Wouldn't you agree?
I would definitely agree, yes.
Yeah, so start with radio. What I started with is a conference call line. And I had my sister, my kids, my mom at that time, she was alive, and maybe a handful of friends, and we were on a conference call line. And let me tell you, I got my first award. So I know you guys can do this. And I didn't even have 50 listeners. Someone emailed me and said, thank you. Congratulations. I see you're one of the top 100 podcasts for women empowerment shows. And I didn't even have a handful of listeners. 50 at the most. And most of them were family and friends. So you guys can do this. And the conference call is so easy. You get them on there, and don't worry about an hour. Just do a 20-minute or 30-minute show. Because believe it or not, I do hour shows and most people don't even listen to most of the hour. Okay. When I go back and listen to some of the good ones, I want to hear Jack Canfield or something. I have a hard time sitting there for an hour, but it's just, I started with it and I'm used to it. But now I teach my clients, do the short ones, 30 minutes max. If you can close it off at 20 minutes, that's better. Okay. So to get started, pick a niche, find some experts, create your platform. You might want to do that first, and then just ask for the interview. And don't prejudge yourself, because that's what we do. We prejudge ourselves and we say, but they don't know me, but I'm not an expert at this. I'm telling you, you don't have to be an expert. What the guests are going to feed off of is what Terry and I just talked about. Have you really connected with them, or are you just sending email blasts? I can tell you they hate email blasts. Yeah. I actually pick up the phone because that's where my gift is. So know your gift. If you can't write good emails, pick up the phone, find out what their protocol is, who you should reach out to, and then send an email and tell them you're on the subject line. You're going to say, here's the information I promised Terry. That's how I do it, so they can look out for it. And then I ask them, can I follow up in a couple of days if I didn't hear from you, because I want to make sure it didn't fall in the dark hole of email. So you want to connect with them. And in our icon interview formula, and you guys are actually going to get this as a free gift. So hold on. We teach you, number one, I investigate. Go out there, like I said, find out what's in it for them. I changed the WIFM to WIFT because most people, when they think about what's in it for me, you start thinking about me. But if you say WIFT, what's in it for them, now you flip the script and you're thinking about them. See, that me was getting into our head too much and it was all about me. No. It's all about them. And it's more about them. And then they think, okay, is your audience right for you? Right for them, rather. But first they're saying, okay, what's in it for me for my time? If I go out, when I asked you, Terry, if I recall, you had wrote your book, Something Happy. What was it?
Work Yourself Happy. Great.
Work Yourself Happy. Yeah. And so when I reached out to you, I talked about the book and you talked about it's all in your feeling and stuff. So, you got to find out what is close to them, what means something to them. When I went out and I got chili, I got to know the first time I got chili with TLC. And that's because went the wrong way. I went because of me and what I wanted. And this would be really cool to bring chili from TLC to my audience. But a couple years later, I heard her on a friend's podcast and I got jealous. I'm just going to keep it real.
I love you.
Chili, and Chili said no to me. And I listened to the interview. And then I went and I Googled, and this is one of my secret sauce. I go to YouTube or I Google podcast, radio shows, or TV show the guest is on. And I go listen to about 3 to 5, and I see what they're talking about most on those 3 and 5. And I listen for emotions. Did they almost cry? Did they get really excited? Did they get quiet? Did they get sad? And I'm going to pull out something. And I heard her in 3 interviews talk about a women's organization that she was young women's organization. She was really passionate about helping younger women. That's how I got her, Terry. That's how I got her. I got something because of what she was interested in, not me. And you got to know that. So getting started, do your research. When you make your list of experts, research them before you ask for the interview. And then the other part of our Icon interview formula is connect with them. See, when you do your research, you'll have better connection with them. They'll say, she gets me. She understands, they'll know that you know about their boy, Robbie, and that he just had surgery. And, and you first of all, how's he doing? I love the pictures when I seen you guys and him out, at a picnic or at a park. Boy, he's come a long way. So you see, Terry, I'm connecting with them. And they're like, all of a sudden, this isn't the same one, Mm-hmm. And then the other thing is, once you investigate and connect, you got to own your platform. Now, here's what you don't want to do. You don't say, I have a podcast, even though podcast is popular. You don't say, I have a web TV show, or I do this show on Facebook Live. No, you talk it up. You say, hey, I have this dynamic show. It's to empower women, baby boomer and midlife women that's looking to reach their dreams no matter what. And Terry, I know you are huge. You are so huge about going for it and watching what you speak in and, be careful of your language. And my audience really needs that. And I couldn't think of no other person. When I read your book and you said da-da-da-da-da, I knew you were the right fit for our show, and this could be a win-win. Would you be open? I never, ever, ever ask, will you be interested? I always say, will you be open to coming to an audience of women that really need to change their language, like not yesterday, but today. And they really are ready to step it up, but they just don't know how. Would you be open to come and speak to them from your heart and share how you were able to change your language and move your business forward? Isn't that a different twist?
It's not only a different twist, it's, entrepreneur focus, right? It's about them. I got that real big. And would you be open? I really recommend you actually write that phrase down, because would you be open is such an easy, effortless statement and a wonderful connection. It's so heart to heart. It's so authentic. Raven, I love you for so many reasons, who you are in the world. I do. I'm a fan, and you always keep it real. You always get right down to the key points. So I have to ask you, how do people actually make money doing this? Or do they make money?
Oh, that's a good question, because I'm telling you, I got so excited about doing interviews that I didn't realize I wasn't making any money.
Yeah.
And so it took me a while. I lost my focus. Remember, I started this to help my mom to make some money. Because at that time, what I didn't tell you, listeners, I was 55, making $10 an hour, working 20 hours a week. And I couldn't help myself, let alone my mom. So I quickly learned that I needed to start making money. And actually, it took a listener to write into me and say, hey, I heard about your show and I wanted to come on, but I've been on your site and you don't have anything to sell. You don't have a book. There's no commercial packages. And we became really good friends. She's one of my good friends now. And she's the one that shook me and said, you need something on that site. So I put together a commercial package. And so put together a package and package it up. If you notice, I see a lot of the ups, interview up, right? And now you want to package it up. All right. So in other words, when you put your package together and say, okay, I'm going to sell 3 commercials, let's say starting out, get your first dollar. I'm kind of like Alex, get your first dollar. Don't kill the opportunity before it even happens. So rather than saying, I want to get 300, 500, a couple thousand, get $50. Okay. Everybody's got $50. Okay. Make your packet, okay, you get 2 commercials for $50, or $97, and we'll give you a 30-second spot free anytime within the next 6 months, or we'll have you back by popular demand. That's how you package it up. And you throw in, maybe if you are someone, you're offering packages to people that are just like you, they're business owners, offer them a free strategy session, offer them a free, like me, I used to give away my kitchen table radio course. Hey, you buy the big package at $5.97. That was my big package, $5.97. But if you buy my big package, we'll throw in the kitchen table radio course for free, so that when you're ready to have a podcast and take your business to the next level, you'll have the steps on how to do it. So that's packaging it up, making it irresistible. So that's the first thing. Put together a package and then go out there and ask, and go to people that are at your level right now and say, hey, I've got this rocking show. I'm excited about it. And we're looking for founding sponsors. And I thought about you. Again, would you be open? Don't say interested. Would you be open to jumping on the phone a few minutes to discuss the possibility? And that we used to learn years ago, that's a takeaway. Discuss the possibility. That way, you're not saying this is a guaranteed thing. But maybe if the conversation goes right and we're a win-win, you will be selected to be one of our sponsors. Now, all of a sudden, they want to be a sponsor. Just like I had to, and I've been knowing you for years, but I still had to present to your people a demo, or what do you call it? Not a demo, a pitch.
Yeah.
Why I want to be on Terry TV. And I thought way out the box, because I wanted to be on Terry TV.
So there's so much juice in what you offer. There's so many valuable lessons. We're just about out of time. And what I really want people to walk away with is, you can do this. You can go and start interviewing up. You can actually create your name attached with celebrity names, and you can make money. And I'll tell you, I never, ever would have thought of commercials being sold and sponsorship being sold on my radio stations, my radio shows. Wouldn't have even thought of being done here at Terry TV.
And sell the interview. Sell the interview.
Sell the interview.
I was the first host that started doing that. And I tell you, people were like pissed at me, other hosts. But I felt bad for a moment, but I just started selling interviews. And then I took it to the next level. When I got the interviews of Jack Canfield and Les Brown and, the big guns, I really sold the interview. I'm like, how would you like to come on before Jack Canfield?
Perfect.
Follow Jack Canfield. You see what I'm saying?
Perfect.
So you sell the interviews. You got to package it up. And last thing is, take your interviews and put it in a book.
I love it.
I'm not an author. I can write a page about the book and who I am, put my bio in there. I put the people that I interviewed on the cover. I put a picture of me, and then I opened it up. This is when I first started making money to help mom. I opened it up to 55 other people that were just like me on the same level, trying to grow their business, and gave them an opportunity to be in the book for $597 each. Yeah. And that's what you can do too. Doesn't take a lot, guys. You just got to want it. Like Les Brown says, you got to be hungry. And I was
do that well. You do less well. Well, we have covered so much. You have created so much massive, massive value. And I just want to say thank you. You're extraordinary. Your gifts are extraordinary. Just tell them let's leave them with one thing. We've got about 12 seconds, not much.
Okay.
Give them one thing to keep in their mind as we exit.
Just ask. That's it.
Perfect.
If it's meant to be, it's up to you. Just ask.
Just ask. Raven, I adore you. Massive hugs.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me here today on Terry TV.